Let's talk a little bit about providing effective feedback for emerging designers. The first thing we have to remember is that prototypes can take many forms. They might be physical products or conceptual frameworks. They could be abstract ideas or even iterations of familiar objects. And sometimes they're really just plans. They're articulated systems of how something should work. Remember, a prototype is ready for effective feedback. And to give effective feedback, it needs to be specific, timely, constructive, and meaningful. So let's dive in a little closer to what we mean by that. Specific feedback. If your feedback is all over the place, it's not really helpful. It's just kind of a mess. But when you target that feedback to specific needs, both positive, negative, and medium warm, it can start to really help. Timely feedback is also key. If we wait too long, the prototype gets clouded and lost. And even if you give what would be effective feedback, if you've waited too long, it's lost in the weeds. Instead, think about giving feedback as soon as possible. That way, it's more deliberate, it's more targeted, and the designer can really see what you're trying to say and make more sense of it. Feedback is also constructive. A lot of times we just give negative feedback and it destroys prototypes because the idea is, well, if we say everything that's wrong, that's the best way for them to start building again. Instead, think about asking how they might build on to the prototype, what else it might provide, other structures, features, and hidden opportunities that you see emerging. Finally, feedback should be effectively meaningful. When we just give kind of random feedback of vague ideas and vague responses, it doesn't really help anybody. Meaningful feedback frames the prototype, gives it shape, and helps us see new ways that we could use that prototype to help users. Really, the most important thing to remember is this. The more effective the feedback, the more successful the next iteration.